Week freeze wasn't the only big announcement today. Governor Brown, along with the governors of Washington and California, announced a travel advisory for the West Coast. That advisory urges people coming into Oregon, Washington, and California to self-quarantine for 14 days. It also urges against non-essential out-of-state travel, urging people to stay local. We spoke with travelers at PDX this morning about that new advisory.
Well, I'm no expert, but I think all these regulations aren't really doing too much at this point.
I think it's the right move because, just based on the trends and based on the models, COVID is getting really bad. So it's important that everybody does that.
I think if everyone's just being safe, washing their hands, and not trying to be stupid with this whole thing, live your life, right?
Non-essential travel includes things like tourism and recreation, but it does not apply to people working or studying in another state. That's considered essential travel. All this comes just 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, of course. So what does this mean for families with kids in college that want to come home? Fox 12's Drew Marine spoke with a local mom who has a very organized plan to get her kids home safely. Drew.
Yeah, that's right. Terry Strauss has 3 daughters in college, 2 here in Oregon and 1 in Wisconsin. She tells me they'll have to travel by plane, train, and car to get back to Beaverton for the holidays. Before they carve the turkey and sit down to have Thanksgiving dinner, Terry Strauss has to get her 3 daughters home from college in the middle of a pandemic.
And our oldest is a senior at Linfield. And then we have twin daughters. One is going to Marquette University in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and the other is going to the University of Oregon.
This challenging task, just as Governors Kate Brown, Jay Inslee, and Gavin Newsom announced a new travel advisory for the West Coast on Friday. They're urging people who travel to their states to self-isolate for 14 days once they arrive. So with college students traveling home for the holidays, the Oregon Health Authority's Dean SIDELINGER offered up some advice.
It's important for students before they return home. They should try and limit their activities as much as possible. Try not to socialize as much. We don't want to take a virus from one part of our state and spread it to communities in other parts of our state or other states.
Luckily for Strauss, she had a plan before this advisory was announced. She says it's going to take a plane, train, and car to get all 3 daughters back to Beaverton for the holidays.
So the plan is to stagger them one by one, and they'll get tested either on the way home or shortly after they get home, and then they'll be quarantined in our basement. We're fortunate to have a bedroom and a bathroom and to be able to keep them away from the rest of us until their test results come back.
Strauss says they've been taking the COVID prevention measures very seriously this year, so they plan to have an intimate Thanksgiving.
We're just going to keep it to our family. Usually we would have extended family, but I don't want to be a Thanksgiving statistic, so we are just having our own quiet Thanksgiving.
Luckily, Strauss says all 3 of her daughter's schools will be providing remote learning through at least January, so they can all quarantine together before they have to go back to school. Live in Portland, Drew Marine, Fox 12 Oregon.